Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformation. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. This is your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and international best-selling author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether you're joining us for your first time or you've been listening to us since 2017, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community, and never miss an episode by subscribing wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. Life Transformation Radio can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, the Himalaya app, and the Google Play Music app, and now we are available on Pandora. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, podcasters, authors, amazing human beings that are impacting the world around them. And my guest today has done exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Maureen Vincenty. Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. How are you?
Hi, Sean. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
You are absolutely a rock star. We met at an event last year, and I was like, yep, coming on the show, we got to talk.
It was a really, really fun event. It was a great time.
I had so much fun, learning about you and, just all of the just your past, just your time at, the NASA and EPA Scientist and the health and well-being and just the whole transformation of how it happens. And so the whole premise of the show is literally that. It is about the transformative moments of the show or of our life that we talk about on the show. So I'm pumped to have you on here to talk about that today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to share my story. I've had an eventful life for someone 36, that's for sure.
Right? So the title of this episode is Transformative Wellbeing with NASA and EPA Scientist Maureen Vincenty. As a peak performance health coach, Maureen is an expert in transforming the bodies and lives of her clients. Formerly a NASA EPA scientist, her obsession with research turned to health after losing her mother to cancer unexpectedly. She has spent the past 17 years researching optimal health, fitness, and preventative well-being. Her passion? To help high performers transform their nutrition and lifestyle so they can look, feel, and perform their best. Her website is right there in the show notes. Maureen, M-A-U-R-E-E-N, Vincenty, VINCENTY.com. Maureen Vincenty. Instagram, Facebook, right there in the show notes. Connect with her on LinkedIn as well and send her a message, friend request her, and let her know that you heard her episode of Life Transformation Radio. My first question for you, which I believe is the most important question, and you kind of touched at it inside the bio, is why? What is your why for what you do?
Yeah, well, there's so many whys that followed the initial why. But yeah, that initial why, I guess to change my bio now that it's 2020, 18 years. I was a freshman at UCLA in 2001, and the end of my freshman year in 2002, when I heard about my mother's stage 4 ovarian cancer diagnosis. I've always been obsessed with science. It's just how my brain works, needing to know how things work and figure it out. And so originally I really was want to go into traditional Western medicine. I was a pre-med student at UCLA, and so when I got this diagnosis, it really shocked all of us. She had the genetic testing done, and it came back negative. So she didn't have the gene for breast cancer and ovarian cancer, that BRCA1 or 2 gene. That's when something clicked inside me. I thought, okay, it's not genetic, so it had to have been environmental. And I thought, what caused this? What was she doing? How was she living? Because she looked so healthy. I mean, she was a healthy weight. She was an active flight attendant, traveled the world. I mean, nothing physically looked sick about her. Everyone in my family had longevity. Her mom is still alive to this day. She's 96 years old. And so
Wow.
I thought, gosh, I need to figure out how to save her and also prevent me and my sister from getting sick. And so I just went down the research rabbit hole and started realizing how many gaps there were in traditional Western medicine. So I decided I didn't really want to go that route anymore. I mean, she still got chemo and all that stuff, but I thought, you don't really get cancer because you're deficient in chemotherapy. It might help, but I kept wanting to know why. What was the root cause? Why? So that's really when it started, my obsession with nutrition and how that interacts with the body and kind of all that stuff. That's what started it.
Wow. Okay. So that was the transformative. For me, that would do it for me as well. That's kind of a big deal. I've got a friend of ours, of me and my wife's, that was living in Michigan, from Michigan, just like us, in the military and all that, and she passed because of cancer. She had breast cancer. She beat it. It came back. She beat it again, and then it was like, because of the chemo twice, she had tumors in her brain and lost vision in her eye. Her organs were riddled with cancer. Like, it was just bad. And she was about 30. Yeah, I think she's about 30 years old. She's about 30. And she and my wife share the same birthday. So that was tough. It was the same year and everything.
It's really tough. I mean, as I've gone kind of down all of the research rabbit hole and everything else the last 18 years, I mean, I have my own company now for the last 3 years. This is all I do is full-time work with clients, high performers, whether it's professional athletes, entrepreneurs, executives, even super busy stay-at-home moms. I help people with nutrition and lifestyle so they can really optimize their genetic potential and heal from current chronic issues, or just live a peak performance preventative lifestyle. But I didn't really know how to turn it into a business until recently. And so I ended up graduating because I left the pre-med track, and I thought, I don't even want to deal with medicine. I was kind of heartbroken. My mom ended up dying in 2006. And so I switched my major like 7 times at UCLA. I was always a science, but ended up graduating with the astrophysics and geology degrees. I was actually a geologist and astrophysicist during the day for 12 years, and then just kind of still obsessively researching all this health and wellness stuff and collecting additional certifications. And then I'm so grateful for the baseline education I have. I started dealing with all my own health issues in my 20s and got diagnosed with various autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune thyroid issue. So many people have it, very undiagnosed. I think of 20 million women in the United States actually have autoimmune thyroid disease. lot of them don't even know it. And then I was diagnosed with celiac. Like, I just kept knowing there was something off about me, but with the doctors, and they kept running my labs, and they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. I thought, I'm a competitive athlete. I played soccer in college. Like, I just knew I wasn't feeling and performing my best, and I wasn't getting any help from traditional Western medicine. So I just continued all of my obsessive research to learn how to really heal my body and optimize my performance. And I'm happy to say that it took a little while. I've used my body as a petri dish for about 18 years. But I finally have figured out how to really eat and live to get all my symptoms in remission and like feel amazing and live my best life regardless of what my genetic predisposition was.
Which that I think that was like the one I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny that you like did all this experiment like on your body and tested this, looked at this, and you know, it just that to me was hilarious. When you had mentioned that, I was like, wow, okay, all right, I got you. That was pretty cool.
I guess I'm really lucky that I enjoy research. It's worked out well for me because it's just been, you know, kind of fun to play around with all the things I've learned over the years. And I never ever want to tell any of my clients to do something to their body or eat, you know, food-wise or workout-wise that I wasn't willing to do to myself, because I want to know what they're going to be experiencing and feeling. So if I ever thought there was something one of my clients could benefit from, for example, going completely carnivore for a while to really supercharge the gut and heal, I was like, I guess I get to go completely carnivore for 6 months and see how I feel. So, you know, it's fun. I've had a lot of fun with it, and this is definitely my passion, and it's a lot more rewarding than wearing a hard hat and steel-toed boots to oil refineries all day long and being around hazardous chemicals. So I'm grateful I don't have to do that for work anymore. No offense to anyone that does that. That's great, but just not my dream job. So this is way better.
That's funny. I had a conversation with somebody today, and they were talking about how they don't eat meat because I'd done some barbecue chicken. So brought some into the office, and they said, no, I don't eat meat. You know, I'm like, you don't eat meat? I was like, how do you get your vitamin B12? Like, where do you get all your vitamins and minerals? Like, where do you get all of your, you know, all of your stuff, you know, that you need, you know, to survive? Well, I mean, I have, you know, checkups all the time, and, you know, so female, I take prenatals, like we're supposed to take prenatals. I take all those. I'm like, okay, fast. Like, you taking any supplements? Nope. Like, there's no way that you cannot, like, you stop eating meat and then you don't become deficient in something. Like that just seems preposterous. Oh, well, I'm going to take prenatals. I'm like, oh, there you go. You're getting all, you know, I was like, are you vitamin D deficient? Nope. I'm like, 90% of the world's vitamin D deficient. How are you miraculously not vitamin D deficient? She goes, nope, totally not vitamin D deficient. I'm like, I don't know. She goes, oh, I get checkups all the time. I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm like, if you say so. She goes, oh, I eat a lot of beans and a lot of spinach. I was like, uh-huh. She goes, I eat a lot of corn. I'm like, corn has no nutritional value. Well, it's so good. I'm like, I don't care what it does. It's no nutritional value. It's like pork. Pork has zero nutritional value. Corn, zero nutritional value. And it takes like a day for it to even digest in your system.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
even
a
if
lot
it,
of things
if it
that
even does.
I know. There's a lot of things that taste good that are not good for you. That is for sure. But I was actually vegan for years in my 20s. And, you know, again, experimenting. It's more so I just got grossed out by meat overnight. I thought I was getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on with me. And so, and I saw these documentaries. I think it was Forks Over Knives that was around that point. And then I started seeing all of these animal cruelty videos, and I just thought, oh gosh, I just couldn't stick it for a few years. I thought I need to figure out how to do this healthy, because, you know, you really have to be careful. It's not to say if you, for religious purposes, for animal rights reasons, you know, I really admire people that take that stand, but you do have to supplement properly. You have to be really careful. You have to make sure you're getting enough saturated fat, cholesterol, like you said, B12, vitamins. You know, just at the end of the day, I could not ignore the research. are wired omnivores. We just are. Some people do better with a lot more meat and a lot of carbohydrates than others, but a really well-balanced omnivorous diet, I think, is ideal for the human body. And whether you're vegan or whether you're a meat eater, I mean, most people should just focus on eating real food, right? I always tell my clients there's a difference between a real food and an edible consumer product. So don't make the mistake just because you can chew and swallow something that makes it a food. There's no Cheez-It tea, there's no Pop-Tart Bush. Like, we are in this world of like processed foods and chemicals and grab and go, and people are so susceptible to what they read on a marketing label and think that like shakes and all these M&M supplements and protein bars. It's like, dude, just if you can't read ingredients, probably shouldn't be eating it. At least a majority of the time. Like, start there.
That's perfect. So the whole premise of the show is to talk about transformative moments that have shaped our life and really put us on the path to what we're doing today. And it sounds like, unfortunately, losing your mom to cancer was that transformative moment. I'm also interested in what happens next. So you change your major about 7 times. You're trying to find your path. You're doing a lot of research on yourself. Like, where does NASA fit into this?
Yeah, I mean, that was like, I had a 3-year contract with them doing research while I was in school and a little bit after, because that when I was so disheartened with like the medical industry, and just really needed to completely break away from all that after my mom passed. Like, it was just too dramatic. I still love science. I still love learning things. I just kept switching all of my science majors and went from understanding how the human body works to understanding how the universe works, rocks, So with the NASA thing, I was doing this research project where we were actually trying to figure out when the moon off from the Earth and early formation of the solar system and how quickly the rock layers cooled and differentiated. So my job was to sit in a basement in a dark room with samples from Apollo 14, 15, and 17 moon rock samples, and then use all of this scanning electron microscope and ion probes to basically come up with dates for them. So we came up with about 3.8 to 3.9 billion years old for the formation of the moon. So that was really fun.
What was it?
0.8 to 3.9 billion years was the estimation for the date of the moon.
Billion.
Yeah. Our solar system is about 4.6 billion years old. And so there was the universe is supposedly around 14 billion years. And our solar system, our sun, is 4.6. It's halfway through its life cycle right now. So that means in another 4.6 billion years, our sun's going to basically explode and, absorb and kill all the planets in our solar system. But we will be long gone by then.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I could talk theory like all day and conspiracy theories and, all that stuff. Here's my question, and I guess you'd be the perfect one to answer this or weigh in. So there's always like flat earth theories and there's all this other stuff and the Big Bang theory and, all this, which as a scientist, from my perspective, who's not a scientist, a theory is something that is unproven but has substantiating evidence could be proven. That's what I think about a theory. There's a lot of substantiating evidence. It's not proven, but we're pretty sure that's what happened.
Well,
okay.
So the interesting thing, I mean, my life has been all about transformation, so it's really hard to just choose that one point. So I was a hardcore atheist plus 25. So this whole point in my life, I was very atheist. I was very much thinking that science and God could not coexist and all this stuff. My mom was an atheist. I just kind of grew up in a family that God's never discussed. And so I got very new age, probably from about 25 to 35. And actually, a couple years ago, I had a total change of faith and became Christian. And now that is the most important part of my life. And so I am actually kind of reprocessing a lot of the things I thought I knew, a lot of the timelines I thought I understood in this one context. And so something that I believe wholeheartedly at that time, it was absolute, it was definitely proof in the science behind it. Now I'm like, okay, that was 3 years of my life. And I don't even know if maybe none of that is, who knows, right? Like you said, it's all theory.
Right.
And I think me claiming very arrogantly that something is right or wrong or this is the truth. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not. Like, I just think kind of funny now to look back at a lot of that stuff as a geology major, the geologic timeline that I learned, and Darwinism and creation versus evolution. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's kind of, it's fun to, I guess, reevaluate these things and think about, well, why was I so convinced that this was the one way or the one explanation, and to kind of challenge myself on a lot of that stuff. So who knows? Well,
my whole, I've thought so much about this, 'cause I have to know things. I have to know stuff. And I have to know where things come from and how things are made. Like, I love the show How It's Made. I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm just fascinated by how they could just take a chunk of iron and it just gets CNC'd into, whatever. But my whole thing with science and all that, if you take beliefs out of it, if we just take beliefs out, like, it was established, numbers, colors, languages, facts, that's it. That's blue, that's green, that's, this is yes, this is no in different languages and whatever. We all know this is fact. However, what if, and I love this, what if, so carbon dating and how you can tell if something's super old and this, that, whatever. What if, because it's made of formulas, what if somebody got a number wrong? What if the solar system is actually younger than we thought or older than we thought? Or what if some calculation in some formula inside of some machine that ran the data, somebody had to make that, somebody had to create the strand of code, somebody had to something, right? Human error is everywhere. So I'm like, really, how far in depth, did we go and it's to the thousandth, whatever. Well, yeah, but somebody still had to create it. Somebody still had to engineer it. Somebody still had to put it into place. So it's a scientific tool, but somebody still had to create it. You know what I mean? So I'm always wondering, is it really 14 billion years ago, or was it 5,000 years ago? Jesus really 2,000 years ago, or was it 50,000 years ago? You know what I mean? Because how would you document dinosaurs? What? Because we found them in the earth, so we just decide that that's what they look like? You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, it is kind of funny for me to just reevaluate all this stuff and think, and it comes up a lot when I work with my clients too. They'll get very, very, very kind of attached to one book that they read or one doctor or researcher they're trying to follow. Well, no, I watched this documentary and they say that vegan's the best, meat causes cancer, or, the starch solution, this is, and I said, great. But for everything you can Google the exact opposite 5 minutes there. So I said, at the end of the day, I don't care what works for 10 people, 10,000 people, or 10 million people. It's clearly not working for you, or you wouldn't have hired me. So just be open. Let's just try to figure out what's going to make you look and feel your best. And then people are like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. And I identified it myself too. I try to be better with that now, but I used to just get so black and white, so attached, glob onto the opinion of someone else who I thought was really intelligent and that I respected, and I would just make their opinion my opinion. Really about exploring or being open or checking facts, just kind of regurgitate all that information, But we definitely can get attached to certain things and opinions and research and data, and it's wait, is this even really right? I don't know, who knows?
100%. And that's what I was saying. I'm like, how do we know? We obviously know that our sun is a star. Yeah. We obviously know that stars are going to explode and die off, but we don't know when it could be, and that's why I said, we don't know if our sun is 5 minutes old, 5 million, 5 quintillion. Like, we don't know. Somebody says it is, but how do we know? And then you turn around and you say, okay, well, if this one's so, and this is just because NASA and all that, our solar system is a vacuum, and it is squeezing and expanding and squeezing and expanding. And this is just the information that they put out there, supposedly. But I'm like, there's no way that we're the only person in the solar system. Then how can we be on like this eternity plane? Like, wouldn't you? Because literally, I don't know, thinking inside the human mind that if you get in a plane and you circumvent the globe, you're going to wind up in the same spot. Like, that's just kind of, you go in a circle, boom, you're done. But there's no way that the solar system is eternal. Or do you just run into a wall? Like, are there boundaries? Like how far does it go? Nobody knows. And you'll never know. You'll never know. But that's what is so crazy. And you can't even fathom it. Literally, the human mind cannot even fathom what outer space looks like, or how it operates, or black holes, or why they exist. Like, there's no way.
No, I used to actually get like panic attacks when I was 8 years old. I remember I had those little glow in the dark stars on my ceiling.
Yep.
And I used to lie there at night time. I just would stress myself out so much trying to look at the stars that I don't get, where does space get all space keep on going forever, and I don't understand.
Yeah.
And
like, how does that happen? Like, how is it even possible?
I don't know. And we think about what we think we know, right? Going back to NASA, it's like, how do we really know? We know what we think we're perceiving from the telescopes that we put out there and satellites, but it's like, here we have our solar system, which is just one little planetary system and sun in our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, and there's billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and then there's billions of galaxies out there, and there's this whole thing which is just the observable universe. Like, we think we know the ends of the universe because of what we can see with light, but really, if it's expanding faster than the speed of light can travel, that means that there are things that we will never even be able to see because they're going away further from us than the light can travel. And a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now, we're really seeing back in time. It might not even exist anymore because it's taken billions of years for light from that object to reach us. Like you said, it's like our brains can't even fathom it. It doesn't mean it's not real. I can try to explain calculus all day long to my cats. They're not going to understand what the heck I'm talking about. No?
Right.
So it's very realize we are nothing. Our brains are nothing. As smart as we think that we are, we're really nothing, at all.
Yeah. What I absolutely love to think about? One of the businesses that I used to create, or that I used to have, that I created, was I used to buy storage units at auction. And, there was a whole show about it, Storage Wars, and that's what I used to do.
My dad loves that
searching things. I just absolutely love it. And what I love about it is searching and finding and treasure hunting and whatever. I love to dream about not being like a for real like archaeologist or like, professional. I just want to be like a treasure hunter type, like the movie National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. Like, there's got to be, based because of erosion on Earth and other reasons why, because, mountains and things, and they move and wear away, and rain and weather and like, there's probably a pyramid buried in sand out there in the desert, in the middle of the desert. There's probably a whole city covered in sand. That was probably covered in sand 1,000 years ago. Like, it was just abandoned. I bet you there are caves that we've never explored. I bet you there's ocean areas that were never ever explored. I bet you there's so much stuff on this earth that we've never even seen before. Have to.
Yeah, it's crazy we don't even understand our brain yet. We don't understand our own body. And like, yeah, you're right. The ocean, the Marianas Trench, like, I love watching some of those National Geographic shows when they put the, submersibles that go miles down, and you just see the weirdest creatures that live down there in that environment, and you're just like, it's it's a trip.
And you're just like, how do they live down there? Like, this is, it would crush a submarine. right? Like, you can't go any further because it would crush the submarine.
Yeah.
How do animals live down there?
I
Like,
know. And they would die
So,
if we're up here because they're used to that kind of
Yep.
pressure. It's a trip to think about,
Yep.
too. Like, they would literally explode because they're so used to that type of pressure and temperature. I love geeking out on that stuff.
It's but I think about it, I'm like, there's so much complex. And there's all new theories coming out all the time. So we talk about well-being. I remember hearing about Pilates at one time. I remember hearing about aerobics. You had an aerobics instructor. Back in the 80s and 90s, like, gotta go to aerobics instructor. I haven't heard that said.
Like the Jane Fonda
at least 10 years. Right?
Richard
right?
Simmons.
And then, Richard Simmons, right? It was like aerobics, like, oh my God. And then it was like, then it was the Atkins diet. Oh, everybody's on the Atkins diet. Oh my gosh, on the Atkins. And now it's keto. Everybody's like hooked on the keto diet, And I'm like, but it's all the same. From the research that I've done, because I just like to know stuff, that it's all based on carbohydrates and lack thereof. That's all it is. Like, don't eat a lot of carbs.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I go in and out. I would say I'm 90% keto now, and I have been for about 2 years. But again, it's just experimenting. It's not for everyone. There's some types of athletes like that are more explosive training and need a lot more carbohydrates or glycogen to fuel them. They might feel a lot better on carbohydrates. Again, I think there's certain carbs for preventative well-being, right? I'd rather people eat fruit, potatoes, sweet potatoes, maybe some rice, not loading up on a lot of sugar, other things to prevent them from cancer and brain health long term. But I think when anyone does something to the extreme without understanding their why behind it, it can be problematic, and I think it's being flexible. I always tell people, look, what works for you well now might not be the same thing that works best for your body 6 years from now. We age, our hormones change, stress levels change. So I think having that flexibility and that empowerment to really understand your body, the way that it functions, and, having a different nutritional template and lifestyle for different phases in your life based on age, where you live, what your goals are, how you're training, that's really important, and not being so dogmatic about it,
Yeah, 100%. So let's talk about how you've been transformed and how you transform others.
Yeah, so I have completely transformed. I mean, my whole life's been transformation, leadership, spiritual, emotional, physical, and I do think it is a holistic approach. So like I said, using that scientific experiment of myself over the last 18 years and pulling everything together, I live a lifestyle of eating a certain way, creating a certain mindset. I have a daily morning routine with myself where I wake up, I read my Bible, I go to the gym, I either work out, I lay in sauna. Like, I really set myself up for success during the day. And then I go out and I pursue my passions with my business, with helping other people transform their health and well-being and achieve peak performance. But I really think it's kind of what I call the 5 pillars of optimal health. It's nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep, and then personal growth and joy. Like, what are you passionate about? It's all that other stuff is irrelevant if you don't actually enjoy waking up in the morning and have something that you feel you are being called to serve the world with as your purpose. So,
you have that purpose.
You have to. But,
That's
it's sad.
huge.
A lot of people don't. It's so easy. And I did this for so long too. When I was working my former career, it was like Groundhog's Day. You get stuck because it's comfortable. We're kind of afraid to step outside the box, or we're doing certain things that we think society tells us we need to do, have that job, be with that person, live in a certain area, and it can be really easy to get, I guess, disconnected from who you really authentically are, you feel like you can bring the world. So I get really lit up about helping people with that too. and motivated to continue to follow, I guess, what I believe my own purpose is, which is to truly empower others and help them transform and optimize their life and their health, you know?
Yeah. So would you say that your passion is your purpose?
Absolutely. For me, yeah. And I think figuring out too, it's ongoing. Like I know that my passion is health and wellness and living my life. I feel like my purpose is to use those gifts and life experience and the kind of tragedies that have all been pulled together in my own, you know, kind of health issues and stuff. Like I feel like I'm on the other side of it now, and that stuff is actually a blessing because it gave me all of the knowledge that I now have to bring forth into the world and to really help other people. And I get really excited. There's so many different capacities in which I can do that. Like I work with pro athlete teams to help them with peak performance and recovery time. I work with kids on the spectrum. You know, families have kids on the spectrum. I've been able to work with corporate America to help them to optimize, you know, profits and less days and happier employees. And I'm really excited to build out programs for, you know, my church and do local workshops. And so it's the same message and same passion that I have and my purpose, but I know that there's so many different applications that I get to explore using that for to really help as many people as possible. Because at the end of the day, it's all kind of the same solution. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It's all empowering people to make changes with their nutrition and lifestyle can really optimize their health, you know? And that,
But,
yeah.
so you work with
really
pro athletes.
I do.
That is super cool. I don't know. That's to me, that's like super cool. I don't want to be an actor or an actress. I don't really care. Like if I meet one, I'm like super cool. Like, you know, whatever. But like, I don't know, something about athletes, because I don't put a lot of weight into what actors and actresses say. You know, Brad Pitt and, you know, all the Hollywood, all that stuff. I mean, think about how much craziness come to it. You know, with Harvey Weinstein and all the other stuff that we've seen in the past decade, right?
Yeah.
Besides a few pro athletes, you know, like that stick out, like Adrian Peterson, who was reprimanded for spanking his kid. One of the guys punching his wife in the elevator, O.J. Simpson. I mean, that's not everybody, you know. I just think that the role models of the world are pro athletes. That's why we put them like on our wall as a kid. You know, you put your favorite basketball player, football player, whatever. You have your sports team. Yeah, no one's walking around with an "I love Brad Pitt" T-shirt.
Yeah.
No one's walking around like.
And
they
the
used
amazing
to.
thing,
You see New Kids
what
on
I
the Block
really
T-shirt.
admire, what I admire so much about the pro athletes is their level of commitment and dedication that they apply to their craft. You know, and like you said, the celebrities and stuff, it's not to put down celebrities, actors, that's all great, but it doesn't, and maybe if they're training for a specific role, I know like, you know, Matthew McConaughey with him being that AIDS character in that movie, like having to lose all that weight.
Yeah, Dallas
they
Buyers
a
Club.
lot into their craft, like Johnny Depp. But it's that level of like commitment and drive and dedication. And so what I do with those pro athletes is I work in conjunction with, you know, the in-house dietitian, with some of these sports franchises, you know, and the trainers to kind of fill in the gaps with a holistic approach, because they may have everything they need from like a calorie standpoint and the meals there or whatever to perform, but that's not necessarily addressing. Some of them may have digestive issues or eczema, psoriasis. They've got brain fog, insomnia. So I'm able to fine-tune their diet and tweak things a little bit and work in conjunction with the rest of their team so that they are performing even better, they're recovering faster, they're seeing more deeply, and they're eating the custom nutrition program that they're eating to really just optimize their genetic potential so they can play and recover even better. You know, food
100%.
is much more than just the calories for sports. It really controls every single physiological function in the body as soon as you swallow something. You know?
Yep, absolutely. What I want to
Yeah.
do right now is give the listeners an opportunity for you to shamelessly plug your programs, products, services, websites, whatever it is that you want the audience and listeners to know and to do. Shamelessly plug. Go.
Yeah. So I would love to offer a peak performance strategy session to anyone that's listening that maybe has the desire to really up-level their performance and achieve optimal health. Maybe you want to lose weight. You just want to look, feel, and perform your best. If you go to my website, maureenvincenty.com, there will be a few buttons on there where you can directly click a link to my calendar and book a strategy session with me. So in that 20-minute session, I can find out what your goals are. I can explain to you what working and having an elite consulting relationship with me looks like and see if we are a good fit. So I do have a few more spots left right now for the beginning of 2020. And so if you're feeling inspired at all to take action, I would love to talk to you. That is my shameless plug. Thank you, Sean.
Absolutely. Love it. And give them the website one more time.
Yeah, it's www.maureenvincenty.com. My name is Maureen, V as in Victor, IN as in Nancy, CENTY. There's also a free fat loss workbook link that you can download on there too, and you'll go into my email list. We can stay in touch. So yeah, I really hope to hear from you. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, all Maureen Vincenty. I'm the only Maureen Vincenty on the planet. So if you Google my name, you will have no problem finding me.
See, I thought we were cool until you said that, and my SEO sucks because Sean Douglas is a singer-songwriter who happens to be Michael Keaton's son, and
yeah.
you know what I mean? So I'm kind of screwed on that. Oh, yeah, by the way, if I use my middle name, Shawn Michael Douglas, then Shawn Michaels, the 80s and 90s wrestler, comes up. If I use just my name or my dad's name, Michael Douglas, then the actual Michael Douglas comes up. Funny story. Michael Douglas did it first. Michael Keaton is not Michael Keaton. That's actually his middle name. His name is actually Michael Douglas.
Wow. Yeah, SOL there with the unique name, Sean.
I'm SOL with the SEO. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what I want to do is we end the show with a takeaway. If nobody listens to anything that we talked about today, if they gloss over our conversation, and they only listen to this moment, what is your message to the listeners? What is your one takeaway right now?
Yeah, my message to everyone would be that they have complete power to really up-level their health and potential. Your genes are not your destiny. I don't care what's going on with your weight, chronic issues and stuff now. If you change the way that you think, the way that you eat, and the way that you live, and make it really simple. Eat real food, move your body, find your passion, just little basic things. Most people are 30 days away from completely transforming their own lives and health, but they never give themselves the opportunity to find it. So just go for it. Find someone, get a buddy, read something, hire a coach, make the change, and just see what happens 30 days from now.
Yep, 100%. All right. Amazing conversation. Loved it. We dove really from all the way left to right. I mean, we talked about how old the world was. We talked about optimal health, Big Bang Theory. Like, what a great episode. This was amazing. So I want to thank you so much for your time. Absolutely enjoyable conversation. And you are a rock star. And I just love everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean. It was so much fun. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around her. If anything resonated with you today, please connect with her. Send her a message on her website. Connect with her on social media. Let her know that you listened to her episode of Life Transformation Radio. And with that, I close the show by saying live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.